Welcome to Deep Sight. This is Lawrence, your navigator on this history journey. Read an in-depth article and experience a bygone time. Let us light up the world together, gain insight into the past, and foresee the future. Today we will continue the introduction from the previous issue and introduce you to other aspects of ancient Chinese civilization. Cultural composition. The cultural composition of ancient China includes many aspects such as philosophical thought, literature and art, religious beliefs, scientific and technological inventions, etc. Philosophical thought refers to the thinking and exploration of ancient Chinese people on nature, society, life and other issues, such as Confucianism, Taoism, Legalism, Mohism and other schools. Literature and art refer to the creations by ancient Chinese people to express their emotions and aesthetics through language, writing, music, painting and other forms, such as poetry, prose, novels, drama, folk art, calligraphy, painting, sculpture, etc. Religious beliefs refer to ancient Chinese people's belief and worship of supernatural phenomena such as gods, destiny, reincarnation, and redemption, such as primitive religion, Taoism, Buddhism, Confucianism, and folk beliefs. Scientific and technological inventions refer to the innovations and discoveries made by the ancient Chinese in the fields of natural science and engineering technology, such as the four great inventions, astronomy and calendar, medicine, mathematics, metallurgy, water conservancy, etc. Artistic achievements. The artistic achievements of ancient China refer to the outstanding works and outstanding representatives created by the ancient Chinese in literature and art, such as the Book of Songs, Chu Ci, historical records, A Dream of Red Mansions, The Romance of the West Chamber, the Peony Pavilion, Spring and Autumn, Xuanzi, Zhuangzi, The Art of War, the Analects of Confucius, Tao Te Ching, Legalism, Mozi, Han Fizi, etc. The artistic achievements of ancient China also include calligraphy, painting, sculpture, etc. Preface to the Lanting Collection, by Gu Kaiji, Picture of Proverbs of Women's History, by Wu Daozi, Picture of Farewell to the Heavenly King, by Wu Daozi, Picture of Five Oxen, by Li Sixuan, Picture of Fishing Alone in the Cold River, by Ma Yuan, Picture of Thousands, by Liang Kai, Buddha Picture. Zhang Zedwan, Along the River during the Qingming Festival, Fan Quan's, Traveling in Streams and Mountains, Li Tang's, 100 Horses Picture, Han Gan's, Horse Picture, Li Gonglin's, Portrait of Bai Jui, Zhao Mengfu, Qiu Shanwen Tu, Ni Zan's, Luo Shenfu, Han Shizai's Night Banquet, by Gu Hongzhong, a painter of the Southern Tang Dynasty during the Five Dynasties and Ten Kingdoms period, etc. Religious beliefs. The religious beliefs of ancient China refer to the belief and worship of ancient Chinese people in gods, destiny, reincarnation, redemption and other supernatural phenomena, such as primitive religion, Taoism, Buddhism, Confucianism, folk beliefs, etc. Primitive religion refers to the earliest form of religion in ancient China, which mainly includes totem worship, ancestor worship, nature worship, witchcraft, etc. Taoism refers to a local religion represented by Laozi and Zhuangzi, which mainly emphasizes the ideas of Taoism following nature, governing by doing nothing, and immortality. Buddhism refers to a religion introduced to China from India. It mainly focuses on the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, karma, reincarnation, nirvana and liberation. Confucianism refers to an ideological system represented by Confucius, which mainly emphasizes the thoughts of benevolence, justice, etiquette, wisdom, trust, loyalty, filial piety, justice, the unity of nature and man, and benevolent governance. Folk beliefs refer to the various gods, myths, legends, customs, etc. that ancient Chinese people believed in their daily lives, such as Shennong, Fuxi, Niuhua, Huangdi, Yendi, Yao, Xuanyu, Kuafu, Hoi, and Chang'e. Jingwei, Niuhua, Shennong, Fuxi, Niuhua, Huangdi, Yendi, Yao, Xuanyu, Kuafu, Hoi, Chang'e, Jingwei, Niuhua, etc. Military achievements. The military achievements of ancient Chinese civilization are very rich and brilliant. They can be briefly introduced from the following aspects. In terms of military system, ancient China established a complete set of military systems, including armed forces, military leadership systems, and military service systems. With the changes in social systems, they continued to reform and develop, forming different military systems such as the Central Army, local armies, and border defense armies. Types of armies, as well as different ways of replenishing the supply of troops such as the conscription system, the enlistment system, and the world service system. Detailed military regulations and reward and punishment systems have also been formulated to ensure the loyalty and efficiency of the army. In terms of military thought, ancient Chinese military thought emphasized putting Tao first and believed that the justice of war is the foundation of national security. It also emphasized the use of wisdom to win and the use of strategies to achieve the purpose of war. Ancient China also produced many famous military books, such as The Art of War, by Sun Tzu, 6 Secret Strategies, 3 Strategies, Sima Law, etc., which deeply analyzed and summarized the principles, methods, and techniques of war. It had a significant impact on later military theories and practices. Military technology. Ancient China also had many innovations and inventions in military technology, such as crossbows, gunpowder, firearms, compasses, rockets, etc., which made China's military equipment and combat effectiveness a long-term leader in the world, and also contributed to the development of world military technology. Important contribution. National defense engineering. Ancient China also made many outstanding achievements in national defense engineering, such as the Great Wall, border forts, coastal defense projects, etc. These projects are based on city walls, forts, beacons, obstacles, etc., and are combined with other facilities. The combined defense system effectively resists external aggression and harassment. Scientific and technological inventions. Scientific and technological inventions in ancient China refer to the innovations and discoveries made by the ancient Chinese in the fields of natural science and engineering technology, such as the 4 great inventions, astronomy and calendar, medicine, mathematics, metallurgy, water conservancy, etc. The 4 great inventions refer to papermaking, printing, the compass and gunpowder. They have had a profound impact on the culture, economy, politics, military and other aspects of China and the world. Papermaking refers to the technology of making paper from plant fibers. It first appeared in the 2nd century BC. It makes writing and recording convenient and cheap, and promotes the spread and preservation of culture. Printing refers to the technology of printing text or images with engraved blocks or movable typefaces. It first appeared in the 7th century AD. It made the copying and circulation of books fast and widespread, and promoted the popularization and development of knowledge. The compass refers to an instrument that uses a magnetized needle or iron piece to indicate direction. It first appeared in the 10th century AD. It makes navigation and geographical exploration accurate and safe, and expands human vision and scope of activities. Gunpowder refers to a combustible substance made from a mixture of saltpeter, sulfur, charcoal, etc. It first appeared in the 9th century AD. It made the use of explosions and flames possible and powerful, and changed the way and results of war. In addition to the 4 major inventions, the ancient Chinese also made many important inventions and creations in the fields of astronomy, geography, mathematics, medicine, agriculture, water conservancy, etc., such as seismographs, star charts, abacus, arithmetic, algebra, geometry, variolation, materia medica, rice cultivation, greenhouse cultivation, Dujianjian, Lingxiu, water dam, water drainage, water transport instrument platform, etc. These inventions and creations all reflect the wisdom and creativity of the ancient Chinese and have contributed to the progress of human civilization. The most important dynasty. One of the important features of ancient Chinese history is the replacement of dynasties, and each dynasty has its own unique characteristics and achievements. To evaluate which dynasty is the most important is a subjective and complex question. Different people may have different opinions and standards. However, from the perspective of technological development, there are several dynasties that can be considered more important, such as Qin and Han, Sui and Tang, Song, Yuan, and Ming and Qing. The Qin and Han dynasties were the first unified multi-ethnic country in Chinese history. They laid the foundation for China's politics, law, culture, economy, and military. It also opened a golden period for China's scientific and technological development, with the emergence of many outstanding scientists and scientists. Achievements, such as Zhang Heng, Hua Shoujing, Zhang Zhongjing, Hua Tuo, Kai Luan, Bai Sheng, compass, seismograph, papermaking, movable type printing, medicine, astronomy and calendar, etc. The Sui and Tang dynasties were one of the most glorious periods in Chinese history. They achieved the reunification of China and the expansion of its territory. It also promoted the prosperity of China's culture, economy, society, diplomacy, etc., and also promoted the development of China's science and technology. Many famous scientists and scientific and technological achievements have appeared, such as Li Chunfeng, Li Yi, Li Chunfang, Li Shizhen, Sun Simiao, Shen Kuo, Yishi, Wang Wei, Grand Canal, Anji Bridge, Yingzhan Wooden Tower, Porcelain, Gunpowder, Compass, Tianyuan Shu. For Elements Technique, Compendium of Materia Medica, Mengshi Bai Tan, Water Transport Instrument Table, etc. The Song and Yuan dynasties were the fastest period of scientific and technological development in Chinese history. They witnessed China's social changes and national integration, and also contributed to the progress of China's business, cities, culture, education, etc., and also gave birth to China's scientific and technological revolution. Many outstanding scientists and scientific and technological achievements have appeared. The Ming and Qing dynasties were an important period in Chinese history, covering the two dynasties of the Ming and Qing dynasties. There have been important changes and developments in politics, economy, culture and other aspects. The Ming and Qing dynasties were the completion and strengthening of the unified empire since the Qin and Han dynasties, as well as the extremization and decline of the feudal autocratic centralized system. They proposed two major missions for the social transformation of modern China, maintaining unification and breaking through autocracy. The Ming and Qing dynasties were also a prosperous period for Chinese classical novels. Immortal masterpieces such as The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Water Margin, Journey to the West, and A Dream of Red Mansions were created, which had a profound influence on later generations of literature. The Ming and Qing dynasties were the budding period of the reform of China's political system and the emergence of early Enlightenment culture. Represented by thinkers such as Li Ji, Huang Zongxi, Gu Yanwu, and Wang Fuji, they criticized ancient feudal autocracy and traditional Confucianism, advocated the establishment of a new society, and promoted social progress and thought. Liberation. The Ming and Qing dynasties were the period of first contact between China and modern Western culture. Missionaries brought Western science, technology, and religious ideas, broadening people's horizons, triggering cultural conflicts and reflections, and laying the foundation for later cultural exchanges and integration between China and the West. Dear viewers, thank you for watching and accompanying us. This is the video about ancient Chinese civilization that we brought to you today. We hope that through this video, everyone can understand the history, characteristics, achievements and influence of different civilizations, appreciate the beauty and diversity of different civilizations, and also be able to think about the mutual exchanges and interactions of different civilizations, and reflect on the problems and challenges of different civilizations. Insight into the past and foresee the future. You are welcome to leave a message and comment. We always uphold a humble attitude, learn together, and make progress together. In the next issue, we will continue to explore the internal reasons for the endless prosperity of ancient Chinese civilization. Goodbye.